Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Up right in the corner, we got Tom starting as the purple Zerg. Bottom right in the corner, we got Yuey starting as the blue Zerg. Very nice colors this time. This, I think I have the map mislabeled. I think on the left it says Metropolis, but this is in fact Polestar with its questionable symbolism. In Korea, it means something different. Actually, I'm not sure what it means in Korean or Chinese culture. I do know that it's different though. Maybe something more akin to like the yin yang, whatever. Anyway, Yuey making his way to the left with the Overlord. That will give Tom the initial Overlord scouting advantage, theoretically, depending on build orders. Game one, if you guys missed it, I actually ended up casting that one twice as a confession because I did not cast it very well the first time. Second time was still not fantastic, but I felt like it was better than nothing. I think I called in the initial one, the reason I did is because I think I called it as a 9 or an overpool initially from Yuey, and it was in fact a 9 pool game one. This is a larger map, so it would be really surprised to see either player go for a 9 pool here. But being that Yuey pulled it out game one, we'll have to see. That was a 4-player map as well. This is slightly larger. So, but okay, as I say that, it looks like we are seeing. We do have the Overlord initially built on both ends. Now the question is, are we going to see dual 12 hatcheries or 11 hatcheries, or are we going to see a 12 pool? Haven't seen a good old 12 pool in a while. And it looks like we are in fact going to see a 12th pool here from Tom. It looks like we are going to see a, is it going to be an in-base 12 hatch? In-base 12 hatch here from Yuey. I kind of like the in-base 12 hatch, actually. So you get a lot of additional larvae. You can transition it to more macro if you want. Your big loss here is that you do not get gas at the, that is not the natural expansion. That is a natural expansion. Is you don't have the gas advantage where you can rapidly transition to gas. In the meantime, Tom, by the way, grabbing his in-base, or his hatchery down at the 12 o'clock, or at the, gosh, can't talk, natural expansion. In the meantime, we do have a spawning pool and extractor. What this does suggest from Yuey with the interior 12 hatch, depending on scouting pattern, he might have to play it a little bit heavier with the Zerglings to start, and having the largest surface area to defend might end up working against Tom. We'll have to see. In the meantime, though, Tom mining gas a lot more rapidly. I don't know if that'll end up being a massive factor or not, because I'm kind of expecting Yuey to go for just 100 gas and then back out of gas to get the Zergling speed. That will be a big tell here for Tom as far as intent. It is possible with the in-base hatchery that he is just going to opt to go tech versus tech. 6 Zerglings on the way, by the way, for Tom. We do have 6 Zerglings being produced off of the end in the 8th. We do see the drones pulled off on 100 gas just to start the Zergling speed, so it looks like Yuey does want to win this by bowling over his opponent. Swaying the Overlord back, by the way, from mid-map, so I'm not sure that Yuey even has map positioning figured out yet either. Tom Zergling's making the way up, doing a little bit of an exchange. Wanting to get as much, wants to at least get on the field. If you have Zerglings that are forcing other Zerglings back, all the better. He's got full eyes, by the way, so he's going to see the precise number of Zerglings that are produced. And Yuey's, that's what he has to do right here, so it's going to be a race. Unfortunately, Tom might be able to take advantage depending on timing here, just dropping additional creep colonies to fill in the gap and making his way up to hive tech. Yeah, layer's already nearly complete. Yuey moving out, going to go ahead and grab that natural and playing a little bit defensively here. The Overlord going to make its way in. It's going to see that layer completing. One adjustment that Yuey can do at this stage is he can go ahead and go to Evolution Chamber and try to play from there, but he is going to be playing from a massive deficit. The gas deficit, similar to game one, except reverse scenario, is going to be enormous, absolutely enormous. Layer finished, no Spire dropped as of yet. A pile of Zerglings right there for Tom. Delaying the Spire actually a significant period of time right here. Oh, he doesn't have the, okay, there didn't have quite the gas there, or the minerals or the gas. Going ahead and dropping it. So everything, honestly, in Tom's favor. He's got the sunken colonies. He's got the vision advantage. He's got a lot of Zerglings to deal with this. He's got control over that natural expansion to grab that gas earlier. Right now, things are equalized as far as raw. You got 11 drones versus 10. But look for, effectively what this potentially is going to turn into over the long run is Tom's just going to have such a massive gas lead that he'll be able to transition it into just a simply a larger attack army. And interestingly enough, Yuey has not transitioned. He's building more drones, but has not dropped any evolution chamber or anything else, and they missed an assault on the front right as Yuey was making his way out with some Zerglings. An assault of Zerglings underneath, forcing a lot of them back. Yuey droned pretty heavily. Wow, actually, a lot of these drones behind the line. So one drone, yeah, they're actually cycling across. I haven't seen that defense before from Zerg, where they send all of the drones through the line to try to hold. Creep colony preventatively being dropped down. There's the evolution chamber in the midst of this. But part of the issue with trying to execute this is you really have to, you gotta move out onto the map and sneak something is what has to happen from Yuey's point of view. Because Tom, he's already got the Spire finished. He's building Mutalisks right now. The evolution chambers only last for so long. You end up with a drone advantage overall, but it's still 2 gas versus 2 gas effectively. And he's not even at lair anywhere on the map. He is getting the initial 3 spore that to cover all of this that he needs. At a certain point, usually around, I don't know, 7 or 8 Mutalisks, somewhere around there, the spores are no longer effective at repelling the Mutalisks on the ground. There are players like Erdmon where they'll pull something special and switch to Hydralisk, at which point it's kind of a different sort of foot race, but usually that works better more as a transitionary thing where you know you're ahead and can just off the transition, if you score the difference, you can kind of use an upgrade advantage with that. But right now, Yuey's got a lot of work to do. Has a 7 drone advantage to work with, actually peeling out a couple additional Zerglings. As soon as the Zerglings run out on the map, keep in mind, the Zerglings can't shoot air, so the Mutalisks can hunt them down on top of everything else. They can help provide vision, or they can bait Mutalisks in. Wow, that Mutalisk is taking a ton of damage. Teching to layer now for Yuey. What shocks me a little bit for Tom is he's not grabbed that natural expansion gas, but on top of that, he hasn't droned heavily as well. Recognizing that he's got full map control, the double sunken, he's very secure in the midst of this, sending his Mutalisks out on the field. This Overlord looks like it's going to be safe for the interior 9. I don't think this Overlord's going to be safe bottom left. So that will, yeah, additionally, well, does he see it? Sees it, but he's just going to stare at it like a jerk. That's mean. That's going to leave that Overlord sweating. He's going to be crying itself to sleep attemptedly. He's not going to get sleep. It's just the slow walk of insanity. Okay, now he's finally attacking that Overlord. Flyer Carapace upgrading. We do have melee attack upgrading for Tom, or sorry, for Yuey. So he wants to have his Zerglings hit a little bit harder. So it could be that he's thinking that he's just going to try to sneak out a Zergling combination attack and hopefully overwhelm his opponent on the ground. He is 5 workers up, has not morphed that creep colony as of yet, built a sunken colony for himself at the natural to provide a little bit of ground support as well, and going Queen's Nest. Wow. So Claws, Queen's Nest to try to skip things altogether. Now it is a rapid race, and another Overlord going to get picked off here, by the way. The one that I thought was safe got caught at the 9. Third hatchery being grabbed from Tom with full map control. So now the race, once the Queen's Nest is up, is Hive Tech to get Defilers to get Plague before Tom has sufficient Mutalisks to bust down any sort of any of the spore colonies. And he hasn't gotten additional scouting information. He's sitting at 4 Mutalisks. It should be 5 shortly, as we see them under construction. Yuey actually has surged quite a bit in unit count, and critically, Tom has not snuck in to see what's going on. Also, with the Adrenal upgrade, the Zergling and the Claws, Zerglings hit very hard and very rapidly, so they can sweep and kill. They can do enormous amounts of damage very quickly. Also, everything that Zerg has is plagueable. There's nothing that is immune to plague in the Zerg arsenal. Mules finally wandering up. They see Hive Tech being built. Is there sufficient time is the next question. Mules kind of corny. Yeah, they need to not bother with the evolution chamber. Pecking away at the evolution chamber. Mutalisks are being built from Yuey to provide some latent defense at nearby corner. Keep in mind, if a plague lands, doesn't matter what the count is, he just has to stay away for a few moments. Hive Tech finishes. 10 worker lead for Yuey. Is Yuey gonna do this? The gas has not been grabbed for Tom at the 12 o'clock. He's still down 10 workers. And now the clock is certainly on, because he's got a 10, he's got a, not 10. How many Mutalisks does Yuey have up? Actually, never mind, it's evened. Greater Spire instead. Holy cow. So instead, we're going to see a quick transition to Devourer. We are seeing the Adrenal upgrade alongside. +1 weapon has completed for the Zerglings. One Devourer hit, it oftentimes will ricochet a lot like a Mutalisk attack, and it drops the Spores, which increases the damage that Mutalisks do, so that could be an equalizing factor as well. And it's only +1 armor, right? Yeah, only +1 here for Tom. I was expecting the move to Plague. I was not expecting the Greater Spire play. But Tom making his way forward. He has to be a little bit careful, because if he engages with a lot of these Zerglings, so he's trying to pick off the Zerglings that he can. If he attacks with his Zerglings, might end up with a counterattack that it just overwhelms him. Additional base going up for Yuey really can't protect it right this second, so just hoping for the best. Single Mutalisk going out. I think that was a bad rally. This one, yeah, as well. Oof, gonna take some free damage. Greater Spire complete. Tom backing off. He needs to be very, very careful. We have several Devourers being mutated. This is a first for me, honestly. Mutalisk taking several hits. Now the question is, and the other thing is Devourers can take a massive amount of hits. The Devourers making out onto the field, Tom backing up, and the Zerglings starting to sprint out as well. These Zerglings are just going to get mauled. And I don't know, Yuey might have done it here, making his way, hunting down a lot of these troops. Several of these Mutalisks are getting spread out. Where are the Devourers? The Devourers are also very slow as a secondary problem. And keep in mind, Tom still has a massive, massive attack force. The Zerglings are making their way up. A lot of them Mutalisks are there fielding. It looks like Yuey is going to be able to wipe out this southern attack force, but there's still plenty of Mutalisks in the air. Scourger also being fielded, and that's wiping out the Devourers otherwise. And Yuey's supply is well underneath his opponent still. And it doesn't look like a lot of Zerglings made it up. They were able to wipe out the 12 o'clock. Mutalisks now cleaning that up. And the Devourers are going to get wiped out by Scourge. This is usually why you see people opt for Defiler Bound rather than opting for the Devourers, because of the Scourge option in between. Now that third base for... So it's going to be third base for third base here. But a 20 supply lead for Tom. And a lot of that is an air fleet. Another Devourer making its way forward to at least provide a bit of support. But now the bulk of the Air Force for Tom pressing in. Some desperate Spore Colonies attempting to get dropped. This will be a dead third base. 12 o'clock is getting rebuilt in the meantime for Tom. And not a lot of Zerglings remaining. It looks like there's still the 2 Sutton Colonies and enough Zerglings, enough Mutalisks to defend otherwise. This is that's a lot of lost resources. Couldn't spit it out there for a second. For Yuey, and he likely is not going to be able to replace them. In the meantime, Tom just making sure that he's got all the additional spawn points in check. Zerglings cycling up to the 12 o'clock. They're going to get caught as well. This looks like it's just too strong an Air Force. In the midst of this, no Spire as far as a follow-up as, or sorry, no Defiler Mound as a follow-up as well. Tom backing off right this second. Is he going to go for additional? No, it doesn't look like he's going to make any additional movements. Some Zerglings fighting Zerglings. Mid-map. Devourer is starting to make their way forward, but I still don't think this is going to be sufficient. Scourge able to land. One Devourer severely weakened, another one wiped out. And yeah, just a much smaller attack force trying to engage, trying to shield the Zerglings so they can make their way forward. The Zerglings have found a little bit of open space. That Spire actually is very, very close. Almost got wiped out. That was very negligent on Tom's part. Going for +1 weapons now, 120 health left. Almost got sneezed on and wiped out. Tom grabbing the rest of the map, upper left. Yuey still boxed into 2 bases. He's just getting out macroed by massive amounts. More Zerglings scooting their way out. And I think this is a control group and a half, maybe 2 full control groups here for Tom. Zerglings getting wiped out. The Mutalisks getting engaged on, but they can just take the Devourers heads up right this second. Even with the Acid Spore, you can see Tom has so many Mutalisks, he's having trouble microing them all. Re-engaging on the Devour army, not fully engaging on top of the Spore colonies, interestingly enough. He's got enough of an attack force we could probably wipe this out. Some defense Zerglings here on the ground. Again, Zergling versus Zergling. Yuey wins on equalized numbers. So, yeah, the Zergling's going to get up and might even be able to get that hatchery on raw speed. Certainly able to clear out all the drones there. But Yuey, the supply gap continues to increase in Tom's favor. At least the gas, critically, the gas has been cut off. 5 worker lead for Yuey. Sorry, 6 worker lead for Yuey. Honestly, without a massive plague landing, on all of these Mutalisks, I don't see this working out. Air fleet getting cut off. Zerglings trying to scoot through once again. Sorry, those are Tom Zerglings. Yuey Zerglings potentially going to get met. At the very least, they're creating some distraction. But there, looks like they're finally getting wiped out. Few more Zerglings that look like they'll make their way top left. And at least create a bit of havoc. More of them getting caught mid-map. Yuey now at half the supply of Tom. Still holding on 2 bases. Again, able to get some disruption top left. A massive amount of Zerglings are making their way top left to go ahead and wipe that out. These poor Zerglings don't know what's going to hit them here. And a Sunken Colony finishing. So Yuey running out of options right here. Army split. Actually, is he going to keep... Yeah, is getting a little bit of ground with little tit-for-tat fights here. Devourer's getting wiped out once again. +1 weapons now finished. More Zerglings have managed to break through at the 12 o'clock. And Yuey finally going to GG, recognizing that just way too many bases. But it was an interesting thought. I think if he actually had gone to Filer Mound, I think it would have worked out. But unfortunately, not quite able to catch Tom by surprise this game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.